In this video, we're going to go over what you can do with the extreme breakouts and price action strategy once you apply it to your chart. Now, with this extreme breakouts and price action strategy, you can detect true breakouts and you can use price action in just about any way imaginable. And finding a true breakout and using price action is so important because the market will give you a lot of false signals before it makes a real true breakout. And there's also numerous price action patterns that happen over and over again in the markets. And by using this extreme breakouts and price action strategy, you can define and detect any of them. Price action is also extremely important in showing you the highest probability of where price really wants to go. And being able to detect the true price actions, what separates traders that lose money from the handful of elite traders. And with this extreme breakouts and price action strategy, you can define and detect price action patterns as they happen in real time. So with that being said, you can start trading this strategy literally within 60 seconds after you apply it to your chart with all the default settings. Now, I'm not going to go into how to use every single detail in this particular video of the settings here. I do have other tutorial videos that go into each setting in complete detail. But I just wanted to give you a quick overview of just the power this strategy has in complete mastery over finding true breakouts and price action. So let me show you what you can do with it. So once you apply to the chart, you click on the gear for the settings, and right now we're in the Inputs tab. You can backtest any dates that you want. You have full volume controls. If you want to filter your breakouts by volume, you can do that. You can look for volume above or below a certain volume moving average. You can look for volume above or below last amount of bars. You can look for rising or declining volume. You can look for total volume. The price action controls, you can look for the top and bottom percent of the bars. If you want to find bars that close, say the top 10% or 1% of their close, you can find that by using this. You can find bars that go higher than the last bars or bars total. You can also do the opposite and find bars that go lower than the last bars, any amount of bars you want. You can also combine those two. So if you want to find bars that are engulfing that go higher and lower than previous bars, you can do that also. And then you can look for bar closes that go higher than the last closes of a certain amount of bars or lower. You can look for rising and declining prices over any amount of bars. You can look for liquidity. So if you're looking for very specific liquidity, which is volume times the share price, you can do that. And for the breakouts themselves, you can actually find all-time highs, all-time lows. If you want to look for breakouts over a certain amount of bars. So like in this example, we're looking for breakouts that occur over the last 60 bars. So the highest price point in 60 bars breakout. You can definitely change those settings. It's whatever you want to input in here, any number. But you can look for all-time highs or all-time lows. You can look for breakouts, any certain amount of numbers, or you can look for breakdowns if bars go lower than a certain amount of bars in the previous period. You can also delay breakouts. Sometimes this can be very good at making sure you don't get into a false breakout. You also have filters for all of the settings up here. And even the volume controls and the price action controls can filter your breakouts too. But you also have these main entry filters. So if you want to look for breakouts that just cross above or below a certain EMA, you can do that. If you want to look for them generally above or below a certain EMA, so say for example you're looking for bullish ones and maybe you want to look for them above the 50 or 100 EMA, which is the exponential moving average, you can do that. If you want to look for breakouts that are in volatile or not so volatile conditions, you can do that using the average true range. You can look for criteria where it just increases very little bit or increases a lot over any amount of certain bars or decreases over amount of certain bars by any amount. You can look for the average true range to be above or below a certain percent. And all of these settings you can mix and match with each other to get really, really dialed in and specific. Then on top of that, a really, really powerful feature of this strategy is the market regime filters. And what this allows you to do is quantify bull markets, bear markets, and sideways markets. And with that, once you set those settings, say you're looking for bull markets, for example, you can make sure that your breakouts only enter on extremely bullish settings, only in bull markets. So they won't enter on bear markets or sideways markets. You can also do that with breakdowns if you're looking for bearish conditions, or if you're just looking for sideways action, you can set that up here too. You have two market regime filters. So you could use one as a fast setting and one as a slow if you want to do like a longer time frame. You have Connor's RSI settings. Those control your Connor's RSI stop loss and take profit. And you again have an ability to delay not just the amount of breakouts, but also candles if you want to enter maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 candles or bars later. You also have risk management via stop loss. So you can set a stop loss via a set percent. You can do it via your entry or previous high or low of the previous bar or candle. You can set any percent here to the hundredths percent. If you don't want to use a fixed stop loss, you could use an average true range stop loss, and you can adjust that here with the period, look back, and your multiple. If you want to set your stop loss to break even as soon as you enter your trade, you can do that. If you want to move your stop loss to break even after you get in a profit, you can do that. You can also set trailing stops by percent. This is adjustable to any 100th percent decimal. You can do average true range to trailing stops. And this is the Connor's RSI stop, which you can use in addition with all of these settings up here. Whatever happens first is how you'll be exited. And then for take profits, you can take profits if price touches a Bollinger Band or Keltner channel. So what that looks like on the chart is to show you. So you can see here that we put the Bollinger Band on the chart, and now that anytime price exits the Bollinger Band, so for example, we entered a trade here, exited the Bollinger Band here, we exited the trade. So you can do that also with Keltner channels if you want. Those are very dynamic ways of taking profits in the market. And you have full control over your length of the indicators and how large, how responsive they are by the multiplier. Now, if you don't want to use those indicators, you can also use a percentage from entry. So if your profit, say for example, gets 10% in the profit, you can just exit the trade immediately. And we'll show you an example of that right here. So here we entered the trade, and over here, there we go. Let me see what we have for settings here right now. We have take profit. I didn't actually select it. So here, 10% from entry. And here you go. Trade got a 10% and it exited. So you could do a set percentage, any percent amount that you want. And that can be adjustable to the hundredths percent. If you want to use average true range where it's more dynamic, you can set that here for take profit. You can also use Connor's RSI as a take profit also. And then on top of that, you have all these entry filters. So if you want to further define your entries and filter them, you can use RSI, stochastics, or being above or below a certain EMA to filter those out, or above or below a certain stochastics or RSI setting. You have two entry filters, so you could use one as a fast, and you could use one as a slower, longer time frame. And then last but not least, you have exit filters that can help you stay in trades if you want to stay in longer. So for example, let's say RSI, you don't want to exit if it gets above 95. You want to just stay in the trade. You can do that. See down here how that can affect your strategy. So there's many different ways you can do that via RSI stochastics or using an EMA above or below. And you have two of them again. So you could use one as a slow and one as a fast for a longer time frame. So those are your basic settings. And we go over each of these in much, much greater detail and show you how to use it in our tutorials, but this is just a quick overview. We also have a properties tab to set your capital if you want to set your amount of money you're trading with, your order size, whether you want to compound or not. You can put that in there. Your pyramiding, your commissions for the market, slippage. And then you have full control over the colors of how things appear in the chart. Your trade entries, exits, what your stop losses look like, and that's all controlled through here. So that's it for this demo. All you have to do is subscribe and you'll get invite-only access on TradingView to the Extreme Breakouts and Price Action strategy, and then you can apply this to your chart. And without tweaking it, you can get some of the results that I have here, and as I've shown in previous videos, and you can make it even better if you want. So thank you very much for watching. Happy trading and enjoy.